I was gonna go out for my free coffee. It's about a mile walk. Not bad. About, depends on the speed. Lately, I've kind of been picking it up just a little bit. Sometimes I do a little skipping along the way, or do runs for a slow portion, just to kind of change things up a little bit. But the sun will come out, and it will come through that window there, and it will make this image a lot more difficult. And so I'll put it off, and then I won't do it, and then I'll forget what I was talking or thinking about. And so where would we be? It's funny that I'm finding myself feeling a little bit more comfortable doing this. Because in the past, I look at the timeline and how I would do it. Now, I'm doing this a little bit more frequently now. So sort of thoughts are coming together. There was a time when I felt like I didn't have anything to say, and I needed to process the information a little bit better. Because for me, you know, I find it better to not know the answers. And I know this is very difficult for people because it's not something that we've been taught, is that I'm okay with uncertainty. I'm okay with mystery. I'm okay with not knowing exactly what is what. I don't have a problem trying to understand. I don't mind thinking about things. Okay, so human, it's a biased definition. I don't know why I didn't think about this before. I mean, I've kind of been moving in this direction, but not thinking of this in such a solid way, which, you know, what we teach ourselves about what we are and who we are isn't entirely accurate. We don't know what we are. We don't know who we are. We don't know what place or what function we have in the universe. We don't. So, because we don't, we have to create an absolute. We have to create an archetype. We have to create a goal. We have to create a religion that helps us move in a certain direction. Being human is a is a concept, where you come you come into your own, but in a way that is really sort of above the behavioral processing that takes place in the human theater. But it's really important to have accept the so creating this illusion, creating this archetype, creating this religion, creating, but these, and it's not like it was created, it's just emanates, it just happens, and then we have to respond to it, you know but unfortunately we haven't had the sort of the wherewithals, the wit to know, and we're very superstitious, and we're very fearful, and we're very cautious, and so and this and since there's so much mystery, we're like, what the fuck? Oh, I know, it's not a mystery. There's this guy, and he says that we should be doing this shit. Okay, let's go do that shit. It really is that simple. But what we have done is it's built on top of it, and it's not built correctly, because to become human is like an entire process, where, I mean, you have to go, and And the rites of passage that cultures have, you know, it's all attached. It's all attached. The rite of passage is supposed to mean that, you're sort of like you're ready, you're prepared, but we've actually created a ceremony to to uh, to basically just say that it is. Not that it necessarily is the case, and that we're actually coming into the situation. We've gone through all the things that we need to go through in order to understand what it is to be human. Look, to be us. There's a lot that needs to be understood, and there's a lot that needs to be experienced. But then it is the responsibility of the human, or the what we could say the actualized human, to tell the other humans, hey, hold on, man. This isn't entirely correct. This is not the way shit is supposed to be going down. Okay. I mean, we accept too many things as being true. We accept too many absolutes. There are no absolutes. We don't know what the fuck is going on. And fucking people are just, running around in this sort of frenzied way, trying to protect themselves and their things and their comfort. But in reality, no one really knows why they're doing it. And they're getting more feverish about it. And they're getting more intense about it. And that's because it's sort of like we've gotten ourselves so far removed from the core that in order to get back to the core, we have to pick at it, pick at it, pick at it, pick at it until we get to it. There's a lot of metaphor and allegory because this is it. This is our environment. This is our heaven. This is our time. But we're not doing it. We're fucking up because I think, and this is personally me, that you become human when your thoughts are more based on internal processing than it is by being manipulated or influenced, stimulated, and responding to a situation. For example, and this is one of the worst ones, and I wouldn't know where this started. I mean, I'm sure we could look at the history and try to find it. I haven't heard it anywhere whatsoever. But the 40-hour work week is a very convenient discretionary concept. And it doesn't benefit society on a whole. It doesn't benefit society on a whole at all. And we can see that right now because a 40-hour work schedule affects an individual's body, the size of their body, what happens to their body. It depends on the job, of course. If a person has a very physical job, like, they're a male person, or, they're a construction worker, they're going to have the opportunity to maintain a little bit more. But even then, we can see construction workers and people who have active jobs that are now overweight and obese. So there's something else going on there. We can put that on the side. But the 40-hour work week, all that is slavery. I mean, that's the schedule that the slaves had. You go out in the morning, you work in the fields, and you come back in the evening. That's a slave schedule. Just because you're not out in the sun, and just because you're not picking cotton, it doesn't mean you're a slave. If you have no ownership at all, you're fucked. In my mind, a human wouldn't do that to another human. And maybe so that's where religion comes in, and religion is was sort of like the spiritual, it's always a spiritual awakening at how we're supposed to treat each other. And you can see people being nice and everything like that in churches, and everybody's happy and friendly. That is a good thing in and of itself. It's not a bad thing. But the bad thing is under the guise that it comes under, which is a completely false pretense. And some people, and I not exactly, I, I do not see any advantage at all psychologically to being functional with a incongruent or different understanding of the things that are, but in another way. In other words, I'm just seeing things differently, but it doesn't mean that things are different. And I actually encountered this in a personal way. But so, it's like it's a process to become who we are. Again, there's always this desire to mystify and spiritualize everything like that. I don't I don't see the advantage. I absolutely do not see the advantage. If there is an advantage, it is for other people to take advantage of. And there are some people that think it's okay to take advantage of other people. And I wouldn't think of those people as humans. And the reasons being is because we just can't live by our, we don't grow up in a vacuum. We're not test tube babies. I mean, well, we could be, I suppose. But we have a social structure that we are brought up in. That social structure has been bastardized. It has been monetized. It has been seized by powers that have, well, by groups that have larger power. And when the groups have larger power, they're able to exert that power, but they also have, like, we always focus on the top of the group and we never focus on the bottom of the group. And the bottom of the group is the most dangerous part. They're the ones that are the most active. They're the ones that are doing the shit. It's like it's the same thing that I'd say, why are we in the trouble that we're in today? Is because, it's like in our communities, in our family gatherings, and, wherever we get together, we let crazy uncle say shit. And because we're polite, we just, we don't say anything to crazy uncle. And crazy uncle gets a job, as a city commissioner, and then crazy uncle is fucking doing crazy uncle things, with political power. I mean, that's a very simplified version, but that is what is happening, because a lot of these people that are in power, making decisions and passing laws, or looking at laws and reviewing legislation and passing legislation, these people, most of these people don't have any kind of humanities education. They don't know what humans are. They might not even know themselves. I should look up their bios and just rip their backgrounds up to shreds. I mean, because the level of arrogance that the people that are in Florida right now. I'm sorry, boy, I jump off track? And then that went to hell in the handbasket in a hurry, didn't it? I was talking about humans. I'm going rah, about Florida because this shit's got me riled up. I mean, I can't believe it, but I can believe it. I can believe it because of what I've seen, because of what I know. It's not unreal to me. It is very real. And we just don't like facing the truth and, facing these people and looking at them. And, we kind of very, very, very passive aggressive, more passive aggressive than we think. So, let me go back to what I was originally starting talking about, which is, being human. There is no definition of human. There is only a working definition. It is a speculation of sorts. We're animals. That's where you have to start. We're animals. Animals that can make puzzles. Even, the words that are coming out of my mouth right now. This is a puzzle, and the pieces of the puzzle are being put together, and they're coming out of my mouth, and I'm throwing them out there, and you're listening to them, and that entire process there is a very amazing thing. But we're still animals. It doesn't mean it's magical or anything like that. It's a process. It's a puzzle that is kind of grown incrementally with time, just step by step by step. This where we are right now is that that little sand, that little grain of sand in the desert. I mean, a lot we're better off thinking of ourselves as being smaller and less, and having less of an ego, and looking out at things and trying to understand them and navigate them in the best possible way. For me, the answer has been physical health. And it's funny because when I was little, I was treated in a way, I'm kind of thinking that maybe it's because I was the first one. I was the first one. And so when they looked at me, there were certain expectations of what the first one should be like. You know, if the first one, I have flat feet. Uh, there's, uh, I'm myopic, or at least I think it was in second grade when I needed glasses. I needed braces, and so there's all these imperfections, you know. And so when you're brought up and you're treated like you're not right somehow, that can change the dynamics of things a little bit. It's like most of what we do, we don't know, we don't understand, we don't know why it's happening. We have no idea. We just haven't stopped. We're just in the middle of the mist. We're in the vacuum. We're in the whirlwind. It's almost like now, this epiphany, this sort of catharsis that I experienced might have been like the final tumble before I shot out of the dryer. And now I'm like, ta-da! I'm ready to go because I'm looking at things differently, and it makes me feel good. I had a conversation yesterday. I went to Moe's, and I'll go to Moe's on Monday because they have a special. They don't advertise it anymore. They have a rewards program. Apparently, they will give you a free burrito on your birthday for in your birthday month. And guess what I ate yesterday? A free burrito, and I didn't even know I had it coming. Look how wonderful things are in that respect. So, but it's funny because the young lady at the register, she said something to me that other people have said as well. She says, "I love your energy. I love your energy. You just have energy." And the thing about that is that the energy, even though it seems like it comes from inside, a lot of it was initiated from the outside, because to explain to him, it's just momentum. It's just inertia. Um, I move all the time, so I have inertia. I have energy, and that energy sort of just kind of vibrates out of me. That's just the way things are. It's not good. I mean, some people find it to be very bad energy. They're scared of it. Other people find it to be good energy. It's interesting. Interesting. But right now, humans, There's about 200 of us that are born every minute. Minute. And 120 of us die. So every minute we have 80 more people on this planet. And that number changes, of course. That's just the latest number. There is a human resource. We are raw commodity. And that's how some people are treated. Not everybody. Some people are treated like raw commodity. Minimum wage is the value that was assigned to the worth of their time. That's bullshit. Complete discretionary bullshit. But this is where we fail. We are so cannibalistic. We don't have any problem eating our own. Not literally, metaphorically. We don't have any problem looking at other people as our source of comfort, to provide us with good feelings, as tools to see people differently than actually being people. Most of what we have right now are not people. I'm sorry, but I don't think you can be, I don't know this for a fact. I just don't know this for a fact, but I don't think you can be an actualized human if you're obese. Maybe you can become actualized and then become obese, but then you're sort of de-actualizing yourself, because I don't see how you could be considered that. You see, I mean, we're like everything in the sense that the more you take care of this, the better it performs. The worse you take care of this, the worse it performs. And there are some people that want to use you for their means, for their purposes, for their church, for their school, for their army, for their business. Most people don't care about other people. Most people care about themselves first. And it's even can be as weird and perverse as, just like me, I'm a pleasant person. And I can be busy and pleasant and do things that seem to be very positive. But being pleasant is not what we're meant to be. There is no meaning to be. We have to adjust to situations. We just can't sort of, create this entity and then force this entity into situations, and be done with it. We have to evaluate situations that we're in and process the way they make us feel. And then we need to respond in a way that would be safe, but at the same time, defensive and aggressive. And we can, it's okay to be aggressive in the head, but it's how you channel that aggression and what you use it for and how it's used. We do not know ourselves. We do not know what we are. But I will say this, and we are not above the animal kingdom. We are in the animal kingdom. We are part of the animal kingdom. And just because you're watching this doesn't mean you're not an animal. You still are an animal. We bleed like animals bleed. We do shit like animals do. We are animals that have been organized, have been domesticated to perform certain functions. The top is the problem. Because the top, I don't know. I don't know if the top knows the truth or not. I see. Actually, it's like every movement has its own truth, and then that truth sort of disappears. But it doesn't disappear for them, but it disappears for everybody else. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, we keep moving with our own personal truth, but there's other truths that are developing behind us. And so the truth that we have is no longer the truth that belongs to everybody else. That's the cyclical nature. What the pyramids tell us. It's all fucking pyramid. It's all triangle. It's all triangle. It's all triangle. It's all process. It's like yeah, stimulus and response, stimulus and response. But this is chain reactions. It's like infinite chain reactions in all these different places. To put us out here where we are right now, today, this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment. Humanimals. If you don't have confidence, if you're fearful, if you or have any type of horrible emotional experiences, that means that we're not taking care of ourselves somehow, that we're not doing things to take care of ourselves. And for me, and again, this was a process, it was just pushing every day a little bit more. Push yourself, challenge yourself every day. Challenge the things that you see. Ask questions. Forget the truth. There is no truth. The only truth is the one you make. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but it really is true. It really is true. I'll stop. If you have any questions, just drop them in there. Um, Remember, the past is an illusion, the present is confusion, and the future, your decision. Take care.